I remember when I sucked at my photography, at using my camera, at knowing what I was doing, and basically like everything and anything to do with the photography business. But today I would actually like to share with you some of the lessons that I learned, namely 5, in the hopes that they will actually help you grow and put you on a really good path with and for your own photography and your photography business. Hey there, my name is Melissa. Welcome to my channel. Here we break down photography concepts and we talk about beginner photography stuff and info and lessons that I've learned in order to help you grow. Okay, my lessons. The first one is the mindset. This is a really big one, and I talk about this one all the time with other photographers and beginner photographers, because if you don't have the right mindset when you go into anything, literally anything, then you'll never succeed. So like I said before, I sucked. I sucked with my camera, I sucked with knowing how to use it, I sucked with getting clients, I sucked, like I just literally sucked all across the place. However, then I didn't, because I worked on my mindset. I worked on knowing that what happens when I have the camera in my hand is completely different with what happens within my head, because we have all of these little, voices that happen in our head, and they're always comparing our work and, telling us that we're not any good and that we can't do this and we can't do that and who do we think we are. So I started to work really, really big and do a lot of effort into my mindset and making sure that what I was thinking was actually in line with where I was going in my journey and my path, yeah? And I used to compare myself all the time with other photographers. It was, I don't know, it's an innate thing, I think, that happens. And comparison, as they say, is the thief of joy. And it's really, really true. Like I said, I compared myself with all of these other photographers out there, photographers in my community, photographers in the industry, and photographers that, I had no idea where they were in their journey. So I stopped doing that. I stopped comparing myself with anybody else. I stopped comparing my work with other photographers, and I stopped comparing who I was with other people. Like I said, it all came down to the mindset. Once you start to do the real work in your mindset and getting it in line with, knowing that you're not perfect, I'm not perfect in any shape or form. I'm completely the opposite of perfect. But I'm perfectly happy on where I am going. I'm perfectly happy on my journey. I'm perfectly happy on the things that I am creating, the work that I am producing. I am over the moon happy with the magic that can happen when I have my camera in my hands. And that all came down to knowing my mindset, working on my mindset. And when you're working on your mindset, it's not something that you could just do like over 5 days or, in a week and then off you go. No, you have to work on your mindset every single day, because every single day there will be something out there that will challenge you, that will push you, and that will make you take, 5 to 10 steps back. But if you keep working on your mindset and you keep doing it on the daily, it will grow. It will grow stronger. So will your confidence, and then so will your photography. And coming back to the photography, the other thing, the second lesson that I learned was I needed to know it like I know it, like I know it. And when I'm talking about knowing it, I'm talking about my camera, knowing exactly how to use my camera so that it was a literal extension of who I am, and a literal extension of my arm. Yeah, so when I first started, like I said, I was creating in auto, I wasn't shooting in RAW, and I did not know how to toggle in order to get, to lock in, and I literally didn't know anything about my camera at all. ISO, shutter speed, aperture, none of that. So I learnt it. I learnt it like I learnt it like I learnt it. I started off doing it where I was in my bedroom. I took my camera with me and I learned how to do and use my camera simply by taking a photo of my big toe. Yes, taking a photo of my big toe. Sounds weird, probably is weird, but it was for me a really quick way that I could know how to switch my camera settings in an instant and know exactly how to do it, so I didn't have to actually think about it. I worked out what happens with ISO. I worked out what happens with different shutter speeds when I moved my foot, and being able to capture it in like a still, like it hadn't looked like it actually hadn't moved. I learned all of this stuff, and I learned it, like I said, photographing my big toe in my bedroom while I was laying there, just working stuff out. So, because when you know it, like you know it, like you know it, confidence comes with familiarity. When you know it like that and you know it so deeply, your confidence in being able to go into any room, into any setting, and being able to produce incredible imagery gives you such a rush and such a high. That's what I wanted. So lesson number 2 was making sure that I knew it, like I knew it, like I knew it when it came to my camera. My third lesson was learning to break the rules, learning all the rules so that I can break them. Let me explain. When you're first starting out in photography, like I was as well, I was learning and going in and learning everything and anything that I could about photography, about cameras, about lenses. And I did that because I wanted to be good. I wanted my work to really, really be good and be beautiful and capture incredible stories for people. And when I started to learn the rules from people that were in the industry, people that were professionals, and knowing what frame rate was, what composure was, what composition was, all of that stuff, when I learned all of the stuff that I needed in order to, learn the rules when it came to photography, then I broke them. I'm not gonna lie. I did. Because I started to ask myself, okay, this is what ISO does, but what if I did this? Or this is what shutter speed does in order to really stop action or to stop motion. What if I did this instead? What if I let the camera drag? What if I just gave it a little move as I was using it, right? So learning the rules in order to break them is also a way that you can really hone in and master your own creativity for your own photography. So that's lesson number 3, was learning the rules in order to break them. Yeah. Sounds weird. Probably is weird. But then, hey, what can I say? I'm a bit of a weird person myself. Lesson number 4, my journey is my journey. It's nobody else's. Where I am, or where I was in my journey, was it was mine. I didn't need to share that with anybody else, but then I also didn't need to compare it with anybody else, because I didn't know where they were in their journey. I didn't know how far they were in their photography. I didn't know if they had clients. I didn't even know if they had confidence, right? So my journey is that knowing where I was and where I wanted to go, and being okay and comfortable with that. So understanding that I didn't need to share every part of my journey in order to feel liked, or to feel like that I fitted in, or that I was, this some great photographer. No, 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 no. My journey is my journey, and the lessons that I learned really helped me to gain some clarity in my own personal growth, in my own photography journey and growth, and in my own photography journey and business. Yeah. So, because with clarity comes certainty. When you get so clear of an understanding of, like knowing that where you are in a moment, it doesn't need to be 50 paces ahead of somebody else. Doesn't need to be 50 paces behind either. It's just where you are. And with that comes, like I said, a lot of personal growth, a lot of learning, and also a lot of happiness in that knowing and understanding in that and being really comfortable in that, I can honestly say I have never felt more confident and more comfortable in my journey in my photography than I am right now, because I know that to this day, I always continually say, I don't know everything, and I will probably never know everything. But what I do know, I am more than happy to share with other people, other photographers, in order to help them learn and to grow and become incredible photographers and go out there and create amazing magic for other people, other clients as well, yeah? And then number 5 is, one of the things I have learned is that to do, to reflect, and to grow. You go out and you do the work. You do the work, whether it's in photography, whether it's in mindset, whether it's in self-love, whether it's in growth, it does not matter. Do the work, do the work, do the work. And then reflect on that. Reflect on, maybe it didn't go right. Why didn't it go right? What do I need to change? How can I change it? What is within my power to change it? Yeah. And then grow, because when you do, then you reflect, you grow. It's as simple as that. You grow from those lessons. You grow from that moment. You grow from that experience. You grow from being involved and in and around with that client or that person, or trying and experimenting different things because you want to find your own spot in creativity and your own spot in your photography and your niche and all this type of stuff. Yeah. So those are my 5 lessons that I have learned thus far in my photography journey in the last 15 plus years. Was the first, mindset. Get your mind right. Work on your mindset. Do it as a daily practice because it's really important. Oh, and if you're enjoying this, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you here in this community and in this circle as well. Number 2, know it like you know it, like you know it. Know your camera, know how it works, know what it does, know what you can push it to. Let it become an extension of who you are in order to create amazing creativity with your photography. Number 3, learn all the rules and then go ahead and break them. Once you know all the rules with photography, with your camera and how to use it, then go ahead and break them. Like, who knows what fantastic creativity you could create from doing that. But you've got to know the rules first. You've got to know how to use your camera. You've got to know what ISO does. You've got to know what aperture does. You got to know what focal length is. Like, yeah, learn the rules, then break them. Number 4, your journey is your journey. It is nobody else's. Just like my journey is my journey. It is nobody else's. It's as simple as that. Comes back to also comparison. Don't compare yourself with other people because you don't know where they are in their journey. Yeah? And number 5, do, reflect, and grow. Do the work, do the work, do the work. Reflect on how you can get better, what you need to do, what you can change, what you can improve. Because the only thing that comes from that is growth, personal growth, self-growth, business growth, professional growth, photography growth. It's all growth. So do the work, reflect on it, and then you grow. I hope that those 5 tips, or my 5 lessons, are of really great use to you, and I know that you're going out there and you're creating magic in your own way. I'm here to support you and cheer you on. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.